Hi everybody, this is Janet from Trixie Stitches. This is the video I said I would do of my Stitchy room and how I decorated it and my storage and stuff like that. So I'll start out. Here's the obviously the door into the hallway. Got my mermaid hanging up that I got in Ohio at the Mirabilia Minion retreat, and this is, oh gosh, how long, oh, this is this dresser. I got this dresser at a garage sale like 20 years ago. I think it was maybe $5 or something. You know, I'm putting on where I got these things, and that it was done, you know, cheaply, because a lot of people think that, you know, they don't have money to do a stitching room or anything like that. And I just wanted to show you, I'm just using cheap stuff that I got to make this room. And just, you know, a mom cave, basically. It's for me, so. But in the dresser here, I keep, on the bottom is, sorry, I'm forgetting my words. My frames and stuff, like all my Q-snaps and then my regular rods. And let me get in here, I'm not sure. And then I have miscellaneous things like scroll rod covers, and my whips are in here, just stuff like that. And then you can see up here, I just took a cheap whiteboard, you know, that's magnetic, that I got in the school section at Target or whatever. I don't know if it was like $10 or something. And those are all my magnets from Gina and from Cassie. And there's my grandma. And then over here is a little, again, that's a little table I got. I think I got it at Ross or something like that. Again, it was probably like $15. And just a miscellaneous lamp. And then one thing cool in here is I have a painting by Nora Corbett, that I got at last year's Minion Retreat. It's really, I'm not sure if I can get a good zoom in here. Hold on. Sorry. She, sorry. She did it like pen and ink, and then she filled in the butterfly or fairy wings there. I just thought it was so pretty. So, I was excited to get that, and brought it home in a tube, and then I had it framed. And this was my that was I went to a local neighborhood yard sale, and this guy had this almost brand new Lazy Boy recliner, really nice, and he sold it to me for $40. I was like, woohoo, you know. I mean, these things are really expensive, so that was just a real bargain, and that was exciting. And my that is my Frozen blanket on it. Good Lord, I'm sorry, I can't think of any words tonight. And that's my Monster mag light. And people have asked me about this, and it doesn't really have a brand or anything on it. It's just the kind that, excuse me, that doctors use in doctors' offices or dermatologists. It's really high powered. It's like 3 times, which is like the strongest you can find. And hey, there we go. That's part of Holly, the Holly Fairy. And it's like a 7-inch round, so again, that's the biggest round I think you can find also, so I really love it. But boy, does it have a bright light, it blinds you. So, then up on the wall behind it is Petal Fairy that I did a couple years ago, and framed her myself. And this is probably the most expensive thing I have in here is my Lowry frame. Got this probably only less than 2 months ago. And that's the one thing I invested in, was a good stand. And then I move this. Behind it is, I had to attach the mag light to something, obviously. I didn't have a normal floor stand, so it was just the kind you clamp onto a table, but I didn't have any that were had enough of an edge to hold on to it. So I went to the Goodwill, and I found this really, how would you call it? Interesting? Ugly? It's different. I don't know if it's from the 80s or what, but this weird little side table, I think it cost $10. And it doesn't have the weight behind it to hold it, so we had to bolt it, I'll show you this, to the wall with a little L-clamp there, so that it would hold the weight of the lamp. And then I keep my current projects in there, and let me stoop down here. I have this little box there that has all my specialty threads and the different brands. That comes out clear. And then that little box has like Rainbow Gallery metallics and the dreaded whisper thread, stuff like that. And this little box, it's usually not sitting out, but that's all silk thread in there. And I'm getting to the point where I've got such a collection going, I'm probably going to have to go to something bigger. And then there's a whip in there. I'll make another video of my whips, but this is just showing my storage and stuff in the room. And this is one of those, I think it was a cabinet kind of made for scrapbooking. But I use it, this is how I store my DMC thread. This is, I just put them in number chunks, you know, from the 100s and the 200s and the 300s. And so on. And they're pretty stacked too. I used to have them in a little, one of those, little, well, I'll show it to you in a minute. The little organizers for like nuts and bolts that you get at the hardware store. But I had so many, it was just, they were bulging out of it, so I had to figure out something else. And it's my wall, and just have a little antique chair I had in the corner. And this is what's kind of funny is I have a curio hutch in my bedroom. It's on this, it's a smaller size though. It's not like you know how some of those china cabinets can get really big. This one I found again at a Goodwill store. Sorry, and it was I paid $100 something for it, but it was a really nice one considering it's an older style, but I liked it. And you can see all my fabrics in it. And that's another video too, me pulling all the fabrics out to show you. But yeah, you can see I have a bit of a, okay, maybe I'm a hoarder, I don't know, but I just love them so much. Sometimes I just get them out and look at them. And then there's storage underneath. And there is, I always forget this name of this pixie. It's not oleander. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, that's a Nora Corbett. And the top box there is, I did on Facebook, there was a challenge at the beginning of the year to do 15 in 2015, or 15 and 15. And so I did 15 starts, one every day for 15 days, and they have like, you know, one, maybe like 20 stitches and 15 projects that are all stuffed in a box now, but so who knows when I'll get to those. But and underneath it is where all my memorabilias are, but I'm also outgrowing that box too, so I'll have to do something else soon, figure something else out. I had cut this from our local glass shop, again cheap, and it was a kind of meant, I used it as a side table. There used to be a bed on the left side of that, you know, for when my brother stayed. That was like his nightstand there. But I still have to keep it in here, so what I did is, excuse me, let me lift it up here. See, it's just a regular two-door metal file cabinet. And of course it used to have all our household files in there and stuff of years and years. And now that everything's on computers, we don't really need a big file system like that. So the bottom one is used for household stuff. But I took over the top one, and you can see what looks like typical files in there is actually all of my cross-stitch books and pamphlets and such. And I kind of have them in a system that works for me. I have Halloween and Christmas, which are my biggest files because that's my most favorite time of year. And then I have most are by, you know, a marriage, baby, there's mermaids back here, but then I have some designers also that it's easier if I have it that way, just to go straight to that designer or whatever. And, you know, you just pull one out, or, you know, if you want to just, you want to look at, say, you know, make somebody a marriage sampler, which I do when my nieces and nephews get married. I just take out this whole hunk of file there, and I just have them all to go through. And that way it's nice that they're all in one place, and then I can put the whole thing right back and file it away, and it's done. Although I've already almost got it pretty packed full, so I either need to go through and get rid of some stash, or get more storage. And then of course this is the closet. And when my daughter was a teenager, she had this room, and she didn't really care about having the closet doors. It kind of took up space for her stuff, so we took them out, and we just put up the curtain rod and some cheap curtains. And then when she left, besides taking over the whole room, my neighbor gave me for cheap this really big 16 cube IKEA storage unit thing. And so some of the stuff in here is office type stuff. It's still kind of messy. I still haven't quite got to that area yet, and then you can see I have some leather, a couple of leather boxes there. There's some extra kits and things like that in there. And move this. And you can see there's some yarns in there. I just recently started learning how to crochet through YouTube. It's much easier for me watching a video and going along than looking at a pattern. So, like I said, I'm a beginner, but it's fun. And I also got, you know, some miscellaneous storage boxes. I have my DMC all bobbinated storage boxes. You know, one time years ago, I collected every single color, put them on bobbins, and had them in these boxes. And I thought that was a cool idea. And then I realized I just kept going and picking them out to use it. And now I just tend to go by and, you know, kit up a certain pattern and have it all together in a bag. So I don't really use this too much anymore, except for when I'm don't have one in my stash, and so I check here and eventually, you know, whittle through it and use it up. Let's see, we have one thing. My kids' Cabbage Patch dolls. This is Eleanor, and that's Fester, as in Uncle Fester. Yeah, my kids are 23 and 25, and they could care less about them, but, you know, I keep everything like that, so I won't let them get rid of them. So that's kind of my my storage thing. Sorry, this is what I use to hold all my Krynics. And instead of separating them by numbers, I just did them by colors, because to me that's easier to find than searching through numbers. I saw there's a few videos out there where they have bullet casing boxes, which is a really great idea. But for me, this is just easier. So, you know, if I know I have something in the orange range or in the green range, whatever, then I know I can just whittle it down to this one little spot. So that's what makes it easier for me. And then we're back to the doorway, and I was locked in. And then I got a little used baby gate, and as you see, it's for keeping the doggies out when I'm stitching, although they like to be in here with me, so this is Daphne. I'll let her in. Come on, Piggy. Hi, Piggy. We call her Piggy. She snorts like a pig. So that's the room, basically. Oh, there's her dog bed. So you can see, I just really kind of wanted to make that point that this is all cheap stuff I have in here. There's nothing fancy. It's just, you know, go out to yard sales or whatever, and you can have a nice little stitchy spot like this for not much money. All you have to do is get rid of your kids, you know, when they get older. It always helps. So it's just me and the dogs now. And I love it. It's pretty cool. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.